We're going on a little drive across to Margaret River. And there's my lovely saying goodbye. Just for a little overnight stay, but not camping. I've got to go see a fellow about a guitar. This is a new bridge that's part of the Albany bypass, I believe, Menang Drive. And the whole idea is to get the big grain trucks out of the centre of Albany, and particularly around the huge roundabout, and get them onto Princess Royal Drive, which is smack in the middle of town and a tourist route. But anyway, this is what it's all about. This is a huge bridge that they've just put in. Still not finished. That's Albany Airport over there. Not much to look at. We're going to call into the world famous Mount Barker Bakery. This is a compulsory pit stop. No trip up this way is complete unless you go there. And I look like I have to go and park across the road. To have a diversion down here. Oh, road closed. Terrific. Now we'll have to go the other way. Back onto the highway and we'll do an alternate route. Fortunately, there are a number of different ways to get to Mount, where am I going? Margaret River. We'll go 102. The Muir Highway. off to the right and in straight ahead. Wine producing Mount Barker. This is the area of Western Australia that is called the Great Southern, and that's the region in which I reside, but it encompasses a fair bit of territory. It's a very pleasant little drive through the trees and the forests here, and it's not very hot today, thank goodness. It's probably early 20s. Nice day to travel. We're just passing the Padlock prison farm. This is for prisoners who are considered to be, I don't know, cured, but they have a number of freedoms, I believe. It's not a very strict prison as far as their rules and regulations go. Maybe it's for pre-release prisoners. We're just coming into the little hamlet of Rocky Gully. To pull up in here. This is some little parking area, but what I'm looking for is a bird hide on Lake Muir, and I noticed that I passed the notice of Lake Muir Nature Reserve some time ago, but I haven't seen the entrance, and I was sort of planning to call in there. Well, we may still. Yes, I just passed a sign, and it's about 500 metres on the left. There is Lake Muir, which is a sanctuary for birds. There we go. Call in here and have a bit of a Captain Cook. Lake Muir Observatory. Here we go. We'll have a little wander. I'll bring the other GoPro with me. This is the entrance to Lake Muir. Nature's hidden treasure, and it's seasonal. Let's take a walk. Kay and I came here, quite a few years ago now, and discovered this little sanctuary. It's beautiful. This is the observatory, where out there is Lake Muir. But obviously, as it's the summer, there's not an awful lot of water. And here we can see that there is wedge-tailed eagles, Australian kestrels, pelicans, the black swan, the grey teal, hoary-headed grebe, the Australian shell duck, and the darter. However, I don't think we're going to see many of them today. Okay. In the wet season, this would be quite swampy down in here. So that was a pleasant little interlude, and I see that there is a table and chair here. I shall go and get my thermos, I think, and have a cup of tea. Well, that was a pleasant little interlude at Lake Muir. Now we'll head off back to the main road, and then we'll go to Manjimup. We'll do the loop and go back onto the main road. That's a conservation site for water birds and plant life, and it was established apparently in 1991 after the Ramsar Convention, which was signed in the town of Ramsar in Iran amongst a number of nations to ensure the continuity of certain species of birds and give them a habitat to come to, migratory birds. Interesting. This is, we're passing through the Stoat State Forest, and I noticed that back there, the bottlebrush, there's some species of Banksia, and they were in flower. Beautiful. Quite pleasant down this area at this particular point in time. I don't know whether you can pick out, there's some over here, this yellowy flowers on the Banksia. Hopefully you're getting a bit, although I do recall from coming down looking at wildflowers on my last trip, pretty difficult to spot with this GoPro. Anyway, we tried. A little bit more open country now. It's the 10th of January 2022, Monday, and I sort of expected this road to be a little bit more busy because of holidays, school holidays, etc. But we're now around about 3 weeks from the state of Western Australia being open to international and interstate tourists with provisos, and with this Omicron variant it may be that I don't get to do many more trips because it's running rampant through Australia, and the government seem like they're running around with their, like chooks with their heads cut off, not really knowing what to do because they keep changing their stance on what will and what will be not be required. And our government here in WA, I think, are in a bit of a quandary as to whether they should still open 5th of February, or whether maybe things will change. It remains to be seen, but I'm taking the opportunity just to do this little quick trip in case they decide to lock down areas in the near future. There were bushfires through here not all that long ago, and we can see off to the left some of the I suppose damage is the word, done by the fires that came through here. Now I'm coming up apparently to a traffic light. Yes, here it is here. Okay. Ah, it's turned green for me. Look at that. That guy saw me coming. Hello, thank you. I don't know what that's about. Oh, this might have been a prescribed burn, because now it turns green. Yep, it would have been. Don't know what they're doing work-wise. We have a digger. Fellow peering down the... Oh no, they're having a chat. Good on you guys. And there be the end of the road work. Now I can do 100 again. We've got more road works and traffic light. Scenic Drive. Oh, they're taking me the scenic route. Good. Pemberton 17, Northcliffe 47. I do think my Garmin is taking me on the roundabout route today, but that's okay. Nice wineries along here. Picardy Wines in there to the right. Oh, beautiful. Look at all those vines. Wow. Can you see them? No. Have a look at that. Vines. And this is Pemberton. Busier here with some tourists. Pretty little place, Pemberton. A bakery in there, I believe. Coffee, cakes, open. We went in there once. K&R. It's a beautiful drive through the forests here. Tourists coming through here now. Over here is the Carey Valley Resort. Obviously a popular little place. Carey Valley Resort. You can camp in there. They've got tents. Oh, look at it. Oh, lots of people. Lots of people up on the hill. This is the area of Carey Brook, and there certainly seems to have been some bushfires come through here some time ago because the ferns are growing back up again. As you can see, the brown tinge of the recovering bush. Well, we're coming into Nannup. up as a pretty little town. There's just one trouble. I'm trying to find a particular road which is on my map that says it takes me straight across to Margaret River. And when I program the Garmin, it wants to take me further south and then towards the west and then north. So I am just trying to find this road. It's allegedly through town. And we'll go and have a look. Otherwise, I've got to go this bloody roundabout route, which I didn't plan on because I thought, well, it'll take me straight across. See, Garmin, you've got it wrong. It just goes to show you, folks, sometimes you really need to have a paper map with you on board and know how to read it. I don't know how long this road has been here. It's I won't say it's a major road, but it's a well signposted road on maps, and my question is, how come Garmin don't seem to have it up to date? Because I actually updated this machine on my computer not that long ago, a matter of weeks ago, and it should be up to date. And yet, coming across, it also told me that I was travelling on a dirt road when every road I've been on has been paved. So Garmin need to lift their game, it looks like. And I didn't bring my old Navman, that's stuck in the Mini. Because as most people who would watch my videos know, I play one off against the other to see how good they are. In this case, Garmin have sadly failed. It's obvious the screen is hasn't been updated here, because all I'm showing is this purple line with a cross reference to Sue's Road, which is also on the maps, and it's strange that it didn't pick it up, that I wanted to go to Margaret River from Nannup via Morwen Road, which is this one that we're on. Strange. Now this is Sue's Road, and I don't even know what the name of this highway is, but this is a sign now. Margaret River is 36 across here, not shown on the Garmin map, and yet it knows now where it's to go, and there is a campsite signposted back there, like Hidden Valley or Big Valley campsite. All new to me and all new to Garmin. Anyhow, we will press on. We've got 36 k's to go to destination. This road was obviously a forest road, and it effectively cuts right across, roughly in a sort of an east to west direction from Nannup across to Margaret River. It deviates a little bit south. I'll try and show it on a map when I get home, and try and film it on the computer to show you how it wouldn't pick up. And I was in the middle of Nannup, and I actually typed into the Garmin find Morwen Road. I didn't say find Morwen Road, but it didn't recognise Morwen Road. And yet, as you can see on the one of the scenes, that Morwen Road quite clearly signposted with the sign saying Margaret River. So that's just a little lesson to people to say you can rely on your GPSs, but sometimes your intuition says no, that's not right, and you have to have another resource to draw upon. I don't know how well this makes out on the video, but this was my route from Albany over here up to Mount Barker. Well, actually to Mount Barker. Let's just change this, because this shows you the very alternate routes that you can take using different things, like different systems. This is Google's, and Google's pretty good. So we were going to go all over 102, and then I went to Manjimup, and then from Manjimup I ended up going down to Pemberton. Now if we bring that up, you can see that there are a heap of different roads in this area. Right now we went through Eastbrook down to Pemberton, over there, Beetle up over that way. Now I have to come back down here, and then we went up to Nannup. Okay, and from Nannup I was having trouble finding this Morwen Road. The Garmin was trying to take me back down here onto this route, and you can see that that took me all the way down south when I wanted to go right across that road there where the pointer is pointing. And that's where the problems lie when you have these GPS systems that don't allow you enough leeway to change the route as and when you want to. This apparently is the Wooditup National Park. Wooditup. Up, of course, is an Aboriginal term meaning water. Anything that ends in up means that there was a water source around. But would it up? Strange one. Once again, a little bit confusing from the Garmin point of view. I just came to a T-intersection off that logging road that we're on, and the Garmin told me to turn left, and I said no, because there was a sign that clearly said Margaret River, turn to the right. And we've just entered that roundabout, so obviously Garmin's maps are not up to date at all. And I see this little yellow car in front of me is an MG. I recognise that because Kay has one of these, but hers is white. And that's a yellow one. Amazing. Now, I don't know if I can trust my Garmin anymore. I need to get to the town centre and reprogram. So there we go, round and roundabout, 1, 2, third exit, next roundabout, and we'll go to the town centre. sign that says Margaret River. I'm going to pull in here. Farm sheds. I just want to have a quick look at my maps. And I'll pick a spot right near that shady tree. Okay. I'll get back to you. Okay, well, I've arrived in the Margaret River Motel. This is the entry straight into the kitchenette. And here is the bedroom, come sitting room, with a rear door onto a little patio thing, and here we have a bathroom, shower, toilet, everything that you could possibly want in the one room. Well, it's 7:35 and I'm leaving the motel. This is us just exiting the one-way system. Very nice little motel, this one, the Margaret River Motel. Oh, we've got Karens going mad here telling me how to get out of here and go home. Into the sun. This is the way we came in, so we're going to go back the same way across Moorwen Road, or this is now Rosabrook Road, and I see I'm going to be following a caravan. Or is he going to give way to me? I think he is. Thank you.
Continue for 32 kilometers.
Nice little vineyard being started there to the left. Drive through this little forest. My windscreen inside is filthy, and my lovely Kay cleaned the car for me, and she did the windscreen, but it's very hard to get these streaky bits off when you're in the sun, if you're not in the direct sunlight. And I notice it's quite streaky. I had a taste of the future yesterday in going to Margaret River. I went to Margaret River actually to show a fellow a couple of guitars that I had built from kits. And anyway, as I say, I booked into a motel and I thought I'd go and have dinner. And I looked at the options, of course, online, because we all have to do things online these days. And a lot of the stuff, because of COVID, a lot of the restaurants, of course, are closed because we have acute staffing shortages. But one of the things was a Settlers Tavern that was called pub that was going to be open, and I looked at all the Google details and what have you, and it said yes, open, meals open at 5 o'clock, blah blah blah. So I thought, okay, so I took a wander down there. It was only about 400 metres from the motel, and I got there about 10 to 5. I walked into the bar and there was a whole heap of people there. So I ordered a beer and I said to the barman, I said, look, can I just get a meal here? And he said, oh no, you have to book online. And so I said, okay. And so I sat at one of the stools in the bar and got my phone out and proceeded to try and book online. Of course, I had to get onto their website, and it was such a rigmarole. And I mean, in the end, I finished my beer and I walked out, and I found a fish and chip shop and I got some fish and chips. But the other thing was, at the motel, I never saw another soul at that motel, either at reception, because it was all, I booked it through booking.com, and when I got there, I had instructions sent to me on my telephone as to how to do the self-check-in. And when I got there, to get the key, I had to enter the last 4 digits of my phone number, and a key dropped out of a box. Everything very impersonal. In fact, I didn't see any member of staff at all. And I thought, well, that is our COVID future. That's what we have to look forward to. And it's really disappointing because, you know, the personal touch has been taken away from everything. It is so impersonal now. Everything is online, and if you can't keep up, you won't survive. Of course, in the motel, they also had a magazine called Menu, and this is a biannual magazine, and it's devoted to food and wine and all things gourmet, if you like. But there was an interesting article in it about COVID and how it's affected the hospitality industry, and whether restaurants, because it's pre-booking, and they're all advocating for pre-booking now, mainly because of staffing issues. But somebody did make the point, which I agreed with it as well, was that you know, when you order a pizza from Domino's or something and you order it online, you have to pay for it. And they're sort of suggesting that restaurants should probably start asking for credit card details and taking either the full amount or a deposit at least, because of COVID restrictions, there's a lot of things, restrictions on the numbers of people that can get into restaurants, etc. And so the idea, of course, is that it lets the restaurateur know how much produce to get, and also how to staff his restaurants to cater for those people. Because there was some incredible figure, like about 28% of people who book restaurants don't actually appear, which is pretty unfair, really. So I must admit, you know, we have this technology and it's fantastic, but it's just sometimes it takes away that sort of personal, spontaneous thing that, you know, you go to a new place and it's all exciting and you want to walk in the door, and now you have to zap a code in, and you know, this is where you are, and it's almost, you know, they're almost undressing you to get into these places, and I find that a little bit objectionable. But anyway, that's just my opinion, and that's my rant for the day. This is our little intersection that we came through yesterday. We've got to do a little dog leg. Two big intersecting roads.
Turn left onto Muir Road.
I'm on it, Karen, thank you.
33 kilometres.
I have a different Karen. I have my phone going as well as this GPS here. Mainly because I didn't trust the GPS yesterday. And I did find out that, as I explained, I couldn't get onto this road through that Garmin. But of course, Google Maps, they're up to date. Okay, we're now turning into the Muir Highway. No, here's 2. There goes my phone.
Continue on State Road 104 for 4 kilometres.
I'm going, Karen. Lovely little place, Nana. Pizza shop is shut. Well, I'm sitting outside a lovely little coffee shop here in Nannup, as you can see. Nice strong black coffee and a cheese toastie. This is a lovely little town. So I'll have my coffee and then I shall be on my way. I'll just have a little wander down Nannup. They were working on that town clock the last time I came through.
In 200 metres, turn right onto Grange Road.
Lovely little place. Okay, we've had our coffee and we're going to leave and head back home. Nice people in the coffee shop, very chatty, lovely coffee and a lovely toastie. that up, and now we're going
Take the next
to
left onto Muir Highway. State Route 10.
turn left, go over back to Manjimup.
Continue on State Route 10 for 11 kilometres.
11 kilometres. Thank you, Karen. Now go to sleep. Turning on to Graphite Road, and we're going to head across to Manjimup. We came this way yesterday. Lavender Farm in there is. It's a beautiful drive actually through this part of the country at this particular point in the season, because it's summer. I have driven through here in winter, and it can be quite damp, but it's lovely at this time of year. Not Andrew Forest of Fortescue Metals, but the Andrew State Forest. Just to make that clear. He doesn't own this piece of land, I think. I don't know. Maybe he does. Sure is a nice drive though, Andrew. '53 regrowth in this forest, apparently. This is good for the soul, driving through a forest like this. Makes you forget about COVID. And all the woes of the world. Get back to nature. As I drive through this beautiful forest, from just where I've come from, about 120 kilometres a little bit further north, up near Dunsborough, there's a bushfire raging up at Eagle Bay, which is near Bunker Bay, where Kay and I went a few years ago. And I keep thinking, oh, it was such a situation that we're in these days with this global warming, and you can just imagine what happens when a forest like this goes up in flames. It would be terrifying. And there are apparently at this fire that's over at Eagle Bay, Dunsborough Way, that homes are in danger. So I haven't caught up with the news, and no doubt when I get home I'll find out the latest. Just as I mentioned that, there were two fire brigade trucks heading up this road in the opposite direction from where I'm travelling, and I'm wondering whether they were actually called to go over there. There's a lot of volunteer bushfire brigades around. Anyway, we'll find out. Shallots in this area. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The Tree Bridge, Glenorran Pool. Hang on, what's going on here? Ooh, can I pull up? I just saw a sign. Oh, this is the Bibbulmun Track. The Bibbulmun Track goes from Perth down to Albany, and this is obviously part of it, and that's a walking trail. It's a 1,000-kilometre walking trail, but I don't think I'll be doing it today. I'm currently on a road called Perup Road, that's P-E-R-U-P, and it actually runs sort of parallel with the Muir Highway, which is Frosty Road. I was just looking, I'm looking at crossroads here because this was not my intended route. Once again, the Garmin doesn't provide enough detail of the intended route as far as which way it's going to take you, nor do you seem to get the option of changing the route to suit yourself. You have to follow exactly where it's taking you. And I've just stopped and looked at my HEMA maps, and this is taking me slightly north of where I really want to be. It will get me home, that's for sure, there's no problem. But it's just annoying that you cannot have the control over these devices that I thought you once could. I know my old nav man, I could reprogram stuff and say, look, find this. But the Garmin just doesn't seem to be able to do that. The strange thing about this Garmin is it does not recognise main highways when you put it into the search. Now, the Muir Highway is over to the right. I know that. It's on a map and I've travelled it before. But if I type in Muir Highway on this Garmin search thing here, it can't find it. So I ask myself the question, how up to date do they keep their maps in the regions of WA? Because I don't think they keep them up very often, but the Muir Highway's been there since the year dot. So why can't you find it on this particular machine? I don't know, and I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. I've gone through all the options. Now I've just found this little road, side road called Cup Road, and it's on my map. And this takes me across to the Muir Highway without me having to follow all of the damn other roads. I know it's a dirt road, but hey, the beast is used to that. It's annoying, this Garmin thing, that you cannot program it the way you want to program it to say, take me via this particular route. Maybe you can, but I mean, I've used these things enough. They're not as user-friendly, I don't think, as they used to be, and I start getting the feeling that they're actually taking the piss. Like artificial intelligence is just ruling our lives. Anyway, we get a nice drive through the forest on a logging road. Woo! Sucking up a bit of dust at the back too. Now, which it now throws up a little notation in the top bar that says 102, which is the highway number of the Muir Highway, and that's the one I've been trying to get onto. But if you search for it, no, I'm not going to tell you that. This is crazy. We're relying on all this stuff, and yet it's so damn finicky to do anything with it. Anyway, I get to drive through this nice road. At least there's no traffic, and it's a place I've never been to before, so hey, there's a bonus. Now apparently in 400 metres we meet the Muir Highway. How hard was that, Mr. Garmin? There it is. And it's the Tone State Forest. Okay, we're free. And now that's the Stoat. The Tone on one side and the Stoat on the other. Crazy. Okay. Anyway, it was a nice little diversion around areas that I have never driven before. We're going to pull into Lake Muir Bird Observatory again, and I'm going to have a cuppa. thought I'd left this going. Well, I'm having a cup of Moccona coffee, courtesy of the motel, here at Lake Muir, and I'm about now 160 k's from home. And it's a beautiful day, lovely day, good day for a drive. Turn you off now. I know I do go on about some of these things, but it concerns me that we rely so much now on technology, and most of us, let's be honest, we really don't understand it, and so we are held to ransom by people who know more about the technology than we do, especially the people who produce it. And I'm starting to wonder, with all this talk about artificial intelligence, and more government departments are handing over things to artificial intelligence, more than we know, and I start to wonder, where is it all going to end here? Because, you know, they're taking it all away from us as far as, you know, your paper maps and all the sorts of things that you used to once upon a time rely on. We now have a generation of kids growing up who that's all they know is how to press buttons. They can't talk to you face to face. They actually have to send a text because that's the only way they know how to communicate. Now, I don't know how much or how many other people feel the same way, but I really do think it's time for my generation to start speaking up and say, look, enough's enough. If that's the world it's going to go, let us live our lives in peace without having to do it, and you can all take over at some later stage. I don't know. That's just the way that I feel. Okay, well, that's our cup of coffee and my little rant about technology and how much I love it and hate it at the same time. But anyway, let's get back out of here onto the highway, the Muir Highway, and head home. First of all, we'll go to Mount Barker, and then the other 50 k's onto Albany. And it's getting quite warm out there, let me tell you. Woo! I've got the air conditioner on. I did actually notice driving along some of those windy roads earlier though, that I had a bit of I thought it was a miss or a slipping clutch. And I'm not quite sure whether it was the wind or not, because there was a very gusty wind from time to time. And it just sort of, almost like the car had hit a wall or something, and it just pulled it back. Anyway, I haven't noticed it since, but perhaps I need to have the mechanics check it at some stage, if it persists. As I'm driving along here, and I've come across there are some logging roads on the right hand side, and they lead up to that Perrup Road that we were on earlier, and which I then turned down a road called Cup Road. But on the map I had noticed previously, had I not reversed up and gone down Cup Road, I would have gone to the next one, which was Uni Cup Road, and I just noticed as I passed it that there were some barriers across the road. And what I mean is that somebody, probably the forestry people, had cut logs and stacked them up in front of the road or across the road so that you couldn't get access. So that would have meant that I would have continued on that other road through to Franklin and then had to turn south towards Mount Barker. So I would have been a little bit further north than I had really wanted to be. Once again, it goes back to the technology and me just going along for the ride and accepting that the Garmin was taking me where I thought I wanted to be, or where it thought it wanted to take me. It's very interesting though. tent on the roof and no pack rack with a spare tyre to break up the wind, maybe that's what's giving me the feeling that the car is being held back at certain times. And I just noticed a caravan coming the other way just before, and he was just going in a straight line, and suddenly he had to weave onto the gravel part of the road. Here's another high top vehicle. I wonder if they're all suffering the same thing, because there are some incredible gusts. It was on the ABC News this morning that 2021 had been the hottest year yet. Now, I don't want to go on about all this stuff, but the climate is definitely changing from what I knew as a kid and growing up, and my experience. I don't think I have ever experienced heat and humidity in the 27 years or so that I've been living down in this area. And one of the reasons for living down in this area has been the fact that the climate was so amenable to both Kay and I. We don't particularly like the heat that much, and the Albany climate suits us, but this year just gone, we have found it incredibly humid and uncomfortable, so much so that we've had our air conditioners going when we would never have normally turned them on. So it's got to tell you something. There is something not right with this planet. And yes, I am one of the guilty ones, driving along in my diesel-powered four-wheel drive along the highways, polluting the atmosphere. But as I say, could I do it in an electric vehicle along here? I don't think so. Well, this is the Franklin River, and I just passed over the bridge, but I thought it'd be very nice for those who've never been down this way to actually have a little bit of a look at some of the scenery. The Franklin River. You'll see that this is obviously a popular swimming hole with the ropes strung from the trees, and I'm not sure whether it's a freebie camping spot or not, but a little bit later up the track you will see that there are two caravans sitting there, set up with all the accoutrements. It's actually a beautiful spot. Yes, a very nice spot. Big picnic area, picnic tables, great. Look at that. Anyway. Oh, that was a nice little interlude. Yeah, we'll reverse out. Dodging the caravans as we go. They look like they're set up for the duration. Doesn't say designated 24-hour stopping. I'll check that one out later. In Rocky Gully, and that's the turn off to Franklin. That would be the road that I would have come down. What's 19 to Franklin up there. There's the Rocky Gully pub on the right hand side that you've just missed. Mount Barker, 65. Back into Mount Barker. We're skirting the town like we did yesterday. We'll now go round the big roundabout and head towards Albany. To the left is Perth. We go round here. Off there is the Stirling Range National Park, and we're going to Mount Barker and Albany. So, we're almost home. 50 k's to go. 52. Anyway. For those of you who've never been, this is the Albany Highway going through Mount Barker. And we're on the bypass. We don't actually go into the town, which is off to the right. And it's a very dull and uninteresting, so we'll say goodbye. Glad you came on this little trip. See you soon. Okay, I know I said goodbye earlier, but the only way to finish off the video is to actually come back to the place from whence we began. And so here we are, back in Albany.